President Nguyễn had a number of activities on September 27th as part of his stay in Japan to attend the state funeral for late Prime Minister Abe Shinzo.
President Phúc led the Vietnamese high-ranking delegation to attend the funeral, which was held in Tokyo. The Vietnamese delegation includes representatives from the Presidential Office, the Foreign Affairs Committee of the National Assembly, the Ministry of Planning and Investment, and leaders of ministries, agencies, and the Vietnamese Embassy in Japan. Representatives of the Japanese royal family, leaders of the government, and the National Assembly and localities of Japan, and 700 foreign guests, including heads of state, attended the funeral and offered condolences to the family of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. President Nguyễn laid flowers to pay tribute to the late Prime Minister, expressing deep condolences to the Liberal Democratic Party, the government, the National Assembly, the people of Japan, and the family of the late Prime Minister. Phúc expressed his gratitude to the late Prime Minister's contributions to the Vietnam-Japan relationship during his 8 years in office, particularly his affection for Vietnam. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and spouse of late Prime Minister Abe, Mrs. Akie, thanked Phúc and the Vietnamese delegation. The participation of the Vietnamese high-ranking delegation to the funeral is a special recognition for the late Prime Minister's contribution to the development of the Vietnam-Japan ties, they said, adding that it shows the importance that the party, state, and people of Vietnam attach to the ties between the two countries.
Earlier, also on September 27th, President Nguyễn had a number of bilateral meetings with senior leaders of countries and partners. At a meeting with Cambodian Prime Minister Samdech Techo Hun Sen, President Phúc stressed that Vietnam always attaches great importance to and gives high priority to working with Cambodia in preserving and consolidating the good relationship between the two countries. The two leaders agreed to continue promoting substantive cooperation, especially in trade and investment, among other things. At the meeting with Palau President Surachate Webb, the two leaders appreciated the potential cooperation between two countries. President Palau expressed his desire to promote cooperation with Vietnam, especially in the field of investment cooperation, infrastructure, fisheries, labor, and response to climate change. At the meeting with President of the European Council, Charles Michel, President Phúc affirmed that Vietnam considers the EU as one of its most important partners and welcomes strategies and initiatives from the EU to strengthen cooperation with the Asia-Pacific region. Charles Michel agreed to increase high-level delegation exchanges between two sides, highly speaking of prospects of trade and investment cooperation between two sides. The National Assembly Standing Committee held a conference on September 27th to launch the Parliament's supervisory program for 2023. The event connected with 49 National Assembly deputy delegations of localities via video conference is the second of its kind in the 2021 to 2025 tenure. Apart from making laws and decisions on important issues, the National Assembly's party delegation and the National Assembly Standing Committee have also paid attention to take concerted measures to reform and improve the Parliament's supervisory activities. During the meeting, legislators discussed measures for improving the National Assembly's supervision over two issues next year and gave opinions on some issues under the National Assembly Standing Committee's supervision in 2023. The conference also discussed ways to improve the coordination in supervisory activities, the organization of question and answer activities, supervision enhancement to prevent and fight corruption, and measures for increasing the National Assembly Standing Committee's directions, supervision, and guidance for activities of people's councils. Minister of Home Affairs Phạm Thị Thanh Trà chaired an opening ceremony of the International Training Course for young managers and female officials from Vietnamese localities on improving leadership skill, digital transformation, and public administrative reform at the Normandy School of Management in Le Havre City on September 26 as part of her working visit to France.
Minister Cha highly valued the Vietnam-France cooperative relationship, affirming that the strategic partnership establishment in 2013 reflected the two countries' determination to further deepen the bilateral relations with a solid and long-term vision. Alain Pilvin, Rector and General Director of the Normandy School of Management, said that since 2014, the school has organized training courses for over 200 civil servants and managers of the Vietnamese Party Central Committee's Organization Commission and localities of Vietnam. After the ceremony, Cha witnessed the signing ceremony for a cooperation agreement between the National Academy of Public Administration of Vietnam and the French school. The same day afternoon, Minister Cha had a meeting with Mayor of Le Havre, Edouard Philippe, during which the French official affirmed that he is ready to do everything to contribute to the bilateral relations.
According to the European Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam, Eurocharm, European firms have shown their optimism about the Vietnamese economy, which is recovering strongly after the COVID-19 pandemic.
Eurocharm said, despite the global supply disruptions induced by the pandemic, Vietnam still exported more than $35 billion worth of goods to the EU in 2020 and over $40 billion last year. In the first 8 months of this year, Vietnam's export revenue to the EU was valued nearly $32 billion, up 23.6%. resulting in a trade surplus of up to $21.6 billion, a rise of 46.4%. Eurocharm member businesses predicted that the Vietnamese economy would stabilize or improve in the third quarter of 2022. 45% were significantly or moderately satisfied with Vietnam's efforts to attract and retain foreign direct investment, and 76% expected to increase FDI in the country before the end of the third quarter. They also said Vietnam improved its FDI attraction and retention capabilities since the first quarter.
A conference was held in Algeria on September 26th and 27th to promote Vietnam-Algeria trade and business cooperation.
The two-day event, organized by the Vietnam Trade Promotion Agency of Viettrade under the Ministry of Industry and Trade and the National Agency for the Promotion of Foreign Trade, attracted the participation of 88 enterprises from Vietnam and Algeria. According to Viettrade, Vietnam always attaches great importance to promoting the traditional multifaceted cooperation relationship with Algeria, considering it a top important and reliable economic partner in the African region. The online trade conference is expected to create an effective bridge for businesses of the two countries to share market information and business cooperation to approach each other's market based on utilizing the production and supply capacities of Vietnamese and Algerian enterprises.
The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam has registered 248 aircraft under Vietnamese nationality so far this year, up 6 from the same period last year.
National flag carrier Vietnam Airlines had the largest fleet with 102 jets, followed by Vietjet with 77, Bamboo Airways 29, and Pacific Airlines 14. The authority also reported that the number of air passengers reached 9.1 million in September, a 9.3% decline from the previous month, following the summer holiday has ended. The figure included 1.6 million foreign passengers, up 10.2% month-on-month, and 7.5 million domestic passengers, down 12.6%. Some 106,000 tons of cargo went through airports this month, up 2.9%. The volume included 84,500 tons of international cargo and 22,000 tons of domestic goods, up 2.9% and 19.3% respectively.
Not only accompanying businesses and the economy to overcome issues in the post-COVID-19 period, the customs sector has also determined that trade facilitation is a top priority. With a range of different solutions, the customs sector has been contributing to smoothing the passage of goods to boost trade turnover. Nearly 300 businesses from domestic and foreign industry associations in Vietnam and representatives of many ministries took part in the Vietnam Customs to facilitate trade and logistics development forum held recently in Hanoi. Delegates acknowledged that Vietnam Customs has made great efforts to build a professional and modern customs force on par with customs administration in developed countries around the world.
The efforts of the sector in digitizing specialized procedures have promoted the entire digitization process in other ministries and agencies, bringing transparency to logistics activities.
In the past 8 months, the sector has carried out e-clearance procedures on nearly 10 million goods declarations and collected nearly 296 trillion dong, of 13.8% of the same period last year.
Customs authorities will continue to apply cutting-edge technology in inspection and control work to automate and simplify the supervision and control process.
The customs sector will work with ministries and sectors in the future to complete a decree on specialized inspections, contributing to reforming shortcomings in goods clearance to facilitate trade and logistics development. A new rice festival was held in Mù Cang Chải district in the northern province of Yên Bai on September 25th as part of activities surrounding UNESCO recognition of Sue Thai as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity.
The New Rice Festival formed part of the opening ceremony of the Mueang Law Cultural Tourism Festival, exploring Mù Cang Chải tourist fields as special national sites. In the custom of the Hmong ethnic minority people in Mù Cang Chải, offerings for the New Rice Festival are mainly pork, chicken, fruit, and wine. The ritual aims to show respect to the ancestors and gods and pray for bumper crops. It's also an occasion for families to gather together to strengthen familial bonds. The New Rice Festival of the Hmong people in Yên Bai Province was recognized as a National Intangible Cultural Heritage in 2021.